Hi, I'm Mo.
Hi, I'm Jenoa.
And we're having
the sex talk.
The scissoring sex talk.
The sex talk.
The sex talk.
The sex talk.
Today we're going to talk about
Scissoring.
That's right.
Can I share an anecdotal?
I'd love to.
So I'm writing a book on sex positions, and it's mostly heterosexual sex positions, a lot of penetration, which includes girl-on-girl sex. But one of the positions that I'm doing is scissoring, and then I'm breaking it out into 10 variations of the scissoring. And I was telling this woman who is gay, and she was so offended that I would include scissoring. You know it's not a real position.
Oh, for her. So for those of you that don't know, scissoring is a form of tribadism, and tribadism is when a woman, and I looked it up, it's only for women, rubs her vulva, her clit, her genitalia, outside genitalia, on the body part of her partner, any part of her partner's body except the mouth, for sexual arousal. That's tribadism.
So maybe arm, leg, nose.
It can be her clit, it can be her mons, it could be her arm, her leg, it could be her thigh, it could be her titty, it could be your fucking forehead. As long as it's not mouth, because then it's like oral sex.
Right.
It's tribadism. Now, in particular, scissoring is a form of tribadism in which you have two people with their legs like this, and the legs become interlocked. So you gotta think of this is the woman's body. Your clit is like right here, sort of in the front middle. Your clit is right here in the front middle. And in a perfect world, you'd want to be able to align those things in such a way that there's friction and pressure to the perfect rhythm and amount that you could both come.
Well, I think the reason it's getting so much backlash
Because it's hard.
Well, not only because it's hard, but we come from this sort of mindset of heterosexual sex. I hate to say it, and I think that's why the woman reacted the way she did, and so many so many lesbians react the way they do to scissoring, because it's like the heterosexual community's way of saying this is how lesbians have sex.
Oh, totally.
South Park did a fucking episode on it.
It's actually not that commonly used. It's a really uncommon sex
there's
act for
this
us.
whole idea that everybody needs to come together at the same time, and so therefore our genitals always need to be touching in order for everybody to come together. So in heterosexual sex, the genitals are touching, and many people, men and women alike, believe that this is the end all be all of sex, that you have to have the genitals touching, and you don't. I guess in my book I talked about ways that you can actually crisscross. Your genitals don't need to be touching in order for there to be successful scissor action and excitement.
If you're interested in sort of a visual, there's an episode of The Real L Word in which two of the characters are scissoring, sort of facing each other like this and doing this kind of a thing. And a lot of our community was like, what? Because they couldn't believe that some lesbians were actually scissoring, but they were somehow made it work in such a way that they really enjoyed it. So, but here's the thing. Another thing I want to talk about scissoring, or tribadism in general, everybody's vulva, everybody's clit, everybody's labia is so different. Some people can get off by rubbing on their partner, some people can't. Like some people have really big clits that respond this way, and some people have really small clits that respond this way. Some people's vulvas are very sensitive, some people like really hard pressure and lots of friction. Everybody is so different. If that particular position or tribadism or scissoring doesn't work for you, don't trip.
Yeah.
Also, as you age and you do different things, your reaction changes. So it might not even be like that forever. Later on, you might get off that way. That could change for you.
It might not always be about just clitoral sex for you. This episode is specifically about scissoring and tribadism, which, and I say tribadism, she says tribadism, I say potato, she says potato.
I like my tribe.
And so it's really about how two people often get off without penetration, which I think is what people assume lesbian sex is, but lesbian sex can be beyond that. And I just want to remind you, there is penetration in lesbian sex.
There's a lot of it.
All kinds.
Everybody's different. Really, the most important thing is what do you like? Like find that out.
Yeah.
Whether it's tribadism or scissoring or pick up her book and like find the 10 different ways of scissoring, and maybe there's one particular one that really works for you. But there are other ways
Oh,
of
she
getting
likes
that.
scissoring.
I'm actually gonna buy your book and try it because I feel like I haven't even like explored it because it seems so absurd. So I'm gonna buy Mou's book and I'm gonna.
And you should too. And we should.
Try.
We're all gonna make 2016 the year we try scissoring.
All 10 positions.
Do it. That was a sex talk.
That was a sex talk. Ding.
The sex talk.
The sex talk.